Well, if you're watching this, that means Kyren Williams is not only a Ram for this year and next year and the year after that, but also the year after that, because the Rams extended Kyren Williams just like I expected them to do. I'm very excited because I do think that this is a player, and one, I love the fact that the conversation for a long time was, oh, Sean McVay is never going to pay a running back again because, let's be honest here, Todd Gurley happened. Well, no, because that's not how it works. When you find a player that's worth being a franchise player, that's worth being a cornerstone of your organization, that does all the right things, says all the right things, and doesn't just say them, he leads by example, you keep that player in the building. End of story. Kyren Williams is a young player. They get him at 24 years old. He gets to cash in after a 3-year contract extension, which he is now signing with the Rams, according to Adam Schefter, who had it first. And what this does is now you get a 24-year-old running back who's already had 2,000-yard seasons. He just had, and I said this a million times, so I apologize if you've heard it before. You probably have. He's had the fourth most touches in Rams history in a season when you combine the postseason and regular season. The other three, Eric Dickerson, and Eric Dickerson. Kyren Williams, everyone talks about what he can't do. Unlike any other running back, I have never seen it in all my years of covering the NFL. I have never once seen anybody who was discredited for everything and constantly just minced down to the smallest detail, the morsel, like Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams does something wrong, and we have to talk about it till there's no end. Cam Akers didn't get this type of stuff, and really nobody has, right? Jared Goff was never picked apart like this. Kyren Williams has been picked apart. He was a 5th-round pick, and he's a top 10 running back in the NFL. And the Rams just told you that. He's going to get the 7th biggest pay among all running backs in the NFL, which I think is absolutely fair. It's $23 million guaranteed. The contract is 3 years, $33 million, $23 million guaranteed. What does that mean? Well, what it means is that the first 2 years are guaranteed. And the third year, his final year, is not guaranteed. Well, I think it has about $1 million, right? So that would be $23 million. The point being is this. The Rams had to do this because you can't preach we not me and we want guys that resemble being Rams and then let this guy go out the door. Okay? You just couldn't do that. He's too good. I've been saying it for a while. A lot of people don't like this and that, and Kyren Williams is slow and he has the least amount of explosive runs, and he fumbles. Well, you told me that he was injured all the time. So what did he do? He clearly worked on his durability. He got stronger, and we saw that. This past year, he didn't miss a game. So now, let's see what happens. Right? If the issue is injury, and then he is healthy the full season, and like I said, accumulates the 4th most snaps in Rams history, if the fumbles are an issue, let's see if he can fix it. He's 1 for 1 already. He's batting 1,000. Let's see if he can fix the fumbles. Let's see if he can add. I told you in the offseason, I had heard some great things about Kyren Williams working on his explosiveness, working on speed training, working on his grip strength. Let's see how it plays out. I could absolutely be wrong. But you don't want to at least see what Kyren Williams, well, doesn't matter anyway because the Rams do. They bought into him. And rightfully so. Absolutely love this. And I think, again, this is practicing what you preach. You're constantly saying you want Rams to look this way and that way. Les Snead says it. Sean McVay says it. The reality is Kyren Williams is far and away the best running back in the Rams organization right now. It's not even close. And I believe it's lost in translation how much the Rams buy into him, not just the stats, but as a hard worker. He has the right mindset. This is a guy that makes your organization better just for ever having him, right? That's not even a thing, but you get my point. They drafted him in the 5th round. They traded up with the Raiders to get him. He wasn't a starter out of the gate. As a matter of fact, he had a freak injury on the opening kickoff of the Bills game in 2022. He missed 11 games. He comes back. He barely gets any carries. He showed you some things. Saints game for one. But the reality is he wasn't ever drafted to be the starting running back. They believed in Cam Akers. They thought Kyren Williams could work in tandem. Well, you know what's kind of awesome about this? It shows you that the Rams are not set and stuck in their own ways. You know how you know that? Because other teams would be like, oh, we drafted Cam Akers to be the starter. Cam Akers is the starter. No. But then again, those other teams would have kept Jared Goff as their quarterback. They wouldn't have gone out of their way to go out and get Matthew Stafford, and they wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. And that's what separates the Rams from a lot of organizations now, doesn't it? It does. So when you look at Kyren Williams and you look at Cam Akers, starting running back before Kyren Williams, well, I mean, you could argue Darrell Henderson was there too, but I would say Cam Akers was the starting running back before Kyren Williams. Akers was a 2nd-round pick. They spent a lot of capital in him. You know what Akers couldn't do? Block. And he fumbled in the playoffs. And in addition to that, his vision was shoddy. We talk so much about the sexy stuff, right? The explosive runs, the fantasy football winning things. But we don't give enough credit to what Kyren does in the passing game. We don't give enough credit to what he is in short yardage. That's the thing. We saw it last year in the Packers game. They put in Blake Corum. I'm not at all saying Blake Corum can't be something in this league. But Blake Corum, they put him in at the goal line against the Packers, and he got absolutely stuffed. Stuffed. No chance. Could not get the touchdown. They put in Kyren Williams, boom, immediately. It's not just pass protection. I want a running back who has good vision. Kyren Williams doesn't mess around. He's got good vision. He knows what he's doing. A lot of these running backs, oh yeah, they're built like a freight train. Yeah, he's 6'1", 220 pounds. He runs a 4.3. Yeah, that's great. He goes down on arm contact. Arm tackles bring him down. And then that same guy doesn't have the vision. Oh, and he's not good at the goal line. And people will say, well, you know, Saquon Barkley. Okay, do Saquon Barkleys grow on trees? No, they don't. They don't. So without a doubt, Kyren Williams has to get better at holding on to the football. No doubt about it. But he knows that. He's working on it. It's documented. It's reported. The Rams clearly are buying into him. So that begs the question. For the people that thought that they drafted Blake Corum or Jarquez Hunter to take over and be a starting running back over Kyren Williams, they didn't. They drafted them because they were talented, and they draft running backs just about every single year. It's a position that they like drafting. But there's no actual plan, a succession plan, to get rid of Kyren. And you know why? Because when you find a running back that can get you over 1,000 yards, you find a running back that can have over 30 touchdowns in 2 years, you find a running back that gels well, he is not a diva. He's somebody that is constantly showing he wants to be a member of this roster, be a member of this team, be a leader. He cares so much about putting in the work ethic. When you see that guy, pass protection, effort, these are the guys that you extend. Sometimes you're splitting hairs. Problem is, the Rams have such a good culture. A lot of the guys that they're going to want to extend or they'll have to decide between, it's pretty balanced. Like if you have to choose between Quentin Lake and Cam Curl, how do you choose? Like, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying that they can't extend them both, but this is where we come from. This is what we're talking about. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm very excited. Who's ready for football? I'm ready for football. As a matter of fact, we have football this Saturday. We have preseason, and I will be live after. I will be live after that game. Fact check what? What do you mean? Yeah, I think they're talking about. I thought you're saying he fumbled 5 times? I mean, I'll definitely fact check it. I have no issue doing that. None. Yeah, he had 5 fumbles last year. And he had a fumble in the playoffs. It is funny. It does seem like people throw out 7, 8 as numbers and not 5. And again, doesn't mean he doesn't have to improve. He absolutely does. But he's already working on it. So, yeah, I'll do a separate video on this. But I was tweeting this out yesterday. Stafford's good. I'm not worried at all. And nor should you be. At all. 37-year-old. I mean, like, I'm not trying to push him either. He's had plenty of practices over the years. He understands the offense. He got to, build a rapport with Devontae Adams early on. I mean, I'm not worried. That's fair. To me, like 11 million, that's the going rate for a top 10 running back. And it's not going to be, they'll mix it around and whatnot. And I'm sure this year we'll probably give him some cap flexibility, or next year. It's not going to be a straight 11 million. But in all likelihood, it's going to be structured in a way that I actually wouldn't be surprised if this year he gets paid less and the next year he gets a huge boost in, bump in pay, and that's fully guaranteed. And then the third year is, whatever, and it's not guaranteed at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they structured it like that. Exactly. Also, think about this. I mean, regardless of how you feel about Stetson Bennett, Stetson Bennett is getting second team reps now, as opposed to not getting any reps, right? Hardly any. So it's good for him too. Can't forget about that part. Yeah, a lot of talent. This is a deep running back room, and I don't know. We don't always get a chance to say that, but it is. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Dedicated for sure. Does all the right things. A true pro's pro, as McVay would probably put it. I don't know. When I saw the comment, I want to play for the Rams. That's who I want to stay with, and I know it'll work out. I was pretty convinced what I already believed to be the case was the right idea. I already felt like he was going to be extended, and that's that. So, yeah. I just realized the ticker's not on for whatever reason. So there's that. I guess happens, right? And I'm doing StreamYard now so I could actually feature comments. So if you guys do super chats, well, there you go. I'm going to put it in right now. There we go. Let's see. I'm also against the number Kyren was paid at. He needs to be better at his explosion and taking advantage of facing lighter boxes and getting better with the fumbling issue. I don't know if I agree. See, the explosion's all nice and everything, right? It is. But let's look, like, who has the most explosive runs? It's probably Saquon Barkley, I'd imagine, right? So I guess there's not a way for me to notice that. All right. Well, here's a good example. Kyren Williams finished 7th. He was paid the 7th most. He finished 7th in rushing. Okay. Now, the thing here is, and I see this a lot, is that, you know, people will say, he's not this guy, he's not this guy, he's not a Jonathan Taylor, he's not a Josh Jacobs. You know, a big thing that I don't think gets talked about nearly enough is that Kyren Williams is not the biggest running back, but he's slippery in space. He's hard to bring down. And just because he doesn't have the explosives, situationally, that guy is guaranteed to get 5 yards almost every carry when you're watching him. I know he averaged 4.1 last year. He was a lot higher the year prior. Last year, they also dealt with plenty of injuries, which no one seems to want to talk about because people will already have their narrative. And I'm not saying Falco, but I'm saying in general, people have their narrative. They don't like him. So they're not going to give him credit. But let's be honest here. Who was healthy on the offensive line last year? Who? Kevin Dotson, who left the Lions game as the only healthy dude, and he was in a walking boot? They were banged up on the offensive line all year. All year. And on top of that, people look at Kyren Williams like, oh, well, he had 316 attempts. Of course he had 1,000 yards or 1,200 yards or almost 1,300 yards. Yeah, but he had 316 attempts a year after missing 4 games, a year after being called injury prone. But that's never talked about, right? That doesn't fit the narrative. That's what I'm saying. There's always a narrative. There's bias. People like certain players. People don't like certain players. There's always a narrative. There just always is. So, yeah. Kyren Williams is underrated. He just is. Last year wasn't even one of his best. It wasn't the best year, but the year prior, like, you could see that. I think if the offensive line has, you know, obviously it stays more healthy than it was last year, because keep in mind, there's all sorts of issues last year, right? Jonah Jackson, he was injured, playing out of position. Steve Avila missed a lot of games. Justin Diedick, who he didn't even make the team. He comes off the practice squad. Now he's starting. Bo Limmer's having to start. There's all sorts of movement all over the place. Tackles are out. I mean, AJ Arcuri was starting. Well, not starting, but he was playing meaningful reps. Logan Bruss had to start. He's not even on the roster. He didn't even make it to the end of the season. I just don't understand, you know, the hate Kyren gets. It's like, all right, we'll call it like it is. You know, this is a guy who's really smart. He's a conscientious football player. He has really good vision. And when you're running that zone blocking scheme, you have to have a smart running back. And I mean, that's the thing. Right? It's really not, is it? It's not. It's actually putting a lot of pressure on him because not only is he running, he's carrying 316 times last year, but he's the only one really doing it. Who are you going to put in? Blake Corum had some moments. The Jets game, he had the long run called back, but I mean, he didn't really show anything where it's like, yeah, this guy can be a 1-2 punch. Rodney Rivers, there wasn't anybody that really could spell Kyren Williams. See, that's the thing. I mean, Saquon Barkley, he was the only guy there, and Barkley is the guy. I mean, I guess you could say Gainwell helped here and there. Derrick Henry, you got plenty of running backs. The Ravens have a plethora. Then you have the Falcons. They have a 1,000-yard rusher backing up Bijan Robinson. Then you have the Colts. They have a pretty decent group. The Packers, that one, Emmanuel Wilson, I believe his name is. He looked good. The Steelers have Jalen Warren. The Titans have 2 starting running backs in Pollard and Sharp. Right? Minnesota, it's not just the Aaron Jones show. They have plenty of guys over there. Right? So that's what I'm getting at. Jahmyr Gibbs has David Montgomery. These are all the top running backs. Kyren didn't have anybody that, could spell him where you're like, I trust that. Alex, appreciate you. Kyren was a 5th-round pick. His production had far exceeded his expected production for where he was drafted. He's been a steal for the past 3 years and has earned this extension. Couldn't agree more. Truthfully. That's the thing. The Under Armour Gamer, appreciate the 5. I heard a guy explain it perfectly on a different channel. Kyren couldn't do much because we couldn't pass as much as we needed to. That's true. It's absolutely true. And obviously people remember how they felt about the Rams and the Bills game. They remember how they feel about the Rams at the end of the year. The Rams were a defensive team at the end of the year. A lot of people forget this. Stafford was playing banged up, right? And they had a black hole in the offense because Cooper Kupp wasn't Cooper Kupp. The best wide receivers were on the sideline. It was Puka Nacua, and then Tutu Atwell and Jordan Whittington were barely getting opportunities. So the offense, while it might have looked good, was nowhere near where it should have been. And it's why I hate saying it, because I'm not trying to discredit anything they've accomplished, but since the Super Bowl, they've been underwhelming. They have. 2023, they showed you glimpses. 2024, they showed you glimpses. But this year is when I think it really is going to all come together, just like it did the year they won the Super Bowl. And I believe they're going to win it again. I do. I think Davante Adams is the best X receiver they've maybe ever had. I think Davante Adams is going to be a steal. I think their depth at wide receiver is on a whole other plane than they've had in the past. And that says a lot because they did have Josh Reynolds as the 4. Well, I think Whittington could be better. And there's a weird feeling in my gut about Konate Mumfield. I love that they brought back Atwell, Whittington, but I also feel like Mumfield could end up being something too. And when you have the best wide receiver coach in the NFL, or at least one of them, right, in Eric Yarber, there you go. This guy knows how to coach the position. I don't know, man. I feel really good about the Rams this year. And I feel really good about the fact they added Kyren. And to your point in this chat, they couldn't pass as much as they needed to. Yeah, exactly. The funny thing is the Rams really don't want to run the football a ton. We've been talking about it forever. Oh, yeah, Rams abandoned the run. Well, since Kyren Williams has become the running back, doesn't it feel like the Rams run more than they did with Todd Gurley? Oh, it does? That's because they do. They run the ball more with Kyren Williams than they did with Todd Gurley. And actually, if you look in the passing attack, the big thing, right? The big thing about Kyren is I look at those reps and I don't think it's anything Kyren isn't doing. You've seen Kyren succeed. The somersault into the end zone, the touchdown against the Vikings. He can succeed as a pass catcher. Stafford has underthrown him and overthrown him. And I love Stafford. I defend Stafford at every turn. But I'm going to call it like it is. I went back, watched every single game, every single play. Kyren Williams hasn't been given the opportunity consistently in the passing game. He just hasn't. So I'm hoping that changes this year. And you know what? It's not just Kyren. I'm hoping they get Blake Corum involved in the passing game because I think he can help there. It's that. It is funny though. I have to say it. I have to. It's on my mind. I don't remember anybody caring about these explosive runs until Kyren Williams. Like, want something? Sure. Don't discredit what you have though. You have to admit this guy's really good at what he does. And is he perfect? No. Because guess what? If you had the vision Kyren has and you have the pass blocking prowess and you have the ability in the passing game, because he does have it. He's been underutilized, but he does have it. You had the nose for the end zone. And now all of a sudden you had a track star and you had a guy that could hit these explosives and you had a power run. You know who you start to have? Todd Gurley, Saquon Barkley. These guys don't grow on trees. He does a lot of things that's all you can ask for at the position. The other things he doesn't do, well, that's the difference between a Saquon Barkley and the other guy. There you go. So, appreciate you. And then Ruiz, 33 million is greater than his longest run last year, 30. Appreciate the two. I got to be honest, I don't really care. This is also why they went out and got Jarquez Hunter. Let's say Kyren Williams never really develops the home run hitting ability, which there's a good chance he may never do. That's why they got Hunter. They could throw Hunter in there. They pinch hit him, and they're like, all right, we want you to hit the home run. We have a good play drawn up. They're over pursuing. They're gassed. Let's hit them where it hurts. So that's what it's like, But I'm not worried at all. There's no reason to be worried. This is not a bad deal at all. This right here, I can't stress enough. He's got all the things that you just, you can teach it, but it's hard to teach. The things he struggles with, he can work on. Remember how slow Cooper Kupp was coming out of the draft? Do you remember how fast he got after tearing his ACL? You can get faster. You can get faster. You can. You can get more explosive. You can get stronger. You can improve your grip strength. You know what's harder to do? Anything up here. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Like I say all the time, it doesn't mean that a player's stupid. But football smart is different than being smart on the street. And a lot of the time you find these running backs that come out of college and they ran a 4.3 at the combine and everybody's like, ooh, I can't wait for him to be on my fantasy team. And then they wonder why he's not getting on the field. It's because he's not football smart enough to actually get the plays down and get on the field and stay there. The thing that keeps you on the field is your ability in pass protection. Do you know how much football smarts it takes to be a good pass protector? Because you can block the wrong guy. Pass protecting at running back isn't just blocking anybody. It's making sure you're blocking the right assignment. It is a judgment call. And if you judge wrong, you could get your quarterback killed. Blitz pickups are real. It's a real thing. So that's the thing, right? Like, there's more to it than just... That's why I've always said Kyren's the easiest player ever to defend, because a lot of the running backs that people are like, oh, we should get this guy, they don't have vision. Like, I you know what I mean? Like, I say it all the time. Oh, he runs a 4.2. He broke the record, but he doesn't have vision. Who cares? Do you guys remember those running backs, like the 5'8" the 5'7" running backs that were like $175, and everyone acts like they didn't make it in the NFL because they were too small? That didn't stop a team from drafting a Donnell Pumphrey or a Dree Archer. Do you know why they didn't make it? I can tell you. Because they didn't have the vision. They didn't have the football smarts that a Kyren Williams has. Now, don't get me wrong. Saquon is incredibly he's incredibly gifted athletically. But Saquon's also very smart. Like, there's a lot of really smart football players that are really good, but that's what separates them. There are players that have really good athletic profiles, and yet, what are they doing? They're middle of the pack in the league at the position. Why? It's because they don't have the intangibles. That's why. That matters. It just does. And this right here, absolutely, Mike. See, this is one of those things that you don't notice, like, until it's gone. Just go back to last year, or no, not last year, 2023. Do you remember how pitiful the offense was without Kyren Williams? I mean, horrendous. Mind you, he wasn't even supposed to be the starter going into the season. And that offense was awful without Kyren Williams. Awful. Why do you think that is? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't running backs out there that wouldn't do better in Kyren Williams' situation. But what you're getting more often than not is optimal results. And like Mike is saying here, you got to love the nose for the end zone. You do. It's a skill that people are just like, this is the thing that's so ass backwards to me. People will say he's just a red zone merchant. What? What? He's a goal line merchant. He's a short yardage merchant. Hate to break it to you, but that actually has a lot of value. Like, when I hear that, I'm like, do you have any... You're trying to make this sound like a negative connotation against Kyren, when in fact, a goal line merchant is somebody that has good vision and just gets the job done. Like, remember Jamal Williams? People are like, he's a goal line merchant. Yeah, you know what Jamal Williams did? Actually scored touchdowns. You know how many running backs in this league? You'll do your bets right before the games on Sunday. It'll be like anytime touchdown. Do you know how many times they get like all those carries and they just get stuffed? Yeah, how many times did Kyren Williams get stuffed at the goal line? Think about it. It wasn't very many. How else do you score 30 touchdowns total the last 2 years? 31 to be exact. It's one of those things, though. It's like, it's just not appreciated, which is fine. Totally fine. Kyren doesn't care. He just got paid. The Rams don't care. They love their investment. Do you think that the Rams just did this because they got, caught? No. The Rams absolutely could have let Kyren Williams go after the season or trade him away and drafted another running back and had all three, between the guy that they drafted and the two young guys in Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter, fight for the starting job. They could have done that. They didn't have to pay him $11 million. There was no gun to their head, right? No. They wanted to. You don't sit there and you're like, yeah, I feel like I have to buy this. No, you want to buy it, so you buy it. That's what happens. When you invest in something, you're not doing it because you have to. You're doing it because you want to. That's what the Rams did. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you should be very happy Kyren Williams was extended. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Well, luckily, you don't have to know that potentially until after 3 years. L Pineapples, Jake, man, you got to stay off Twitter, bro, because I know damn well someone on Twitter said that stupid shit. Well, yeah. What I mean, I don't even know what stupid shit, but I would assume, yeah, whatever you're talking about, absolutely. Ruiz, thank you for the 2% that Kyren keeps his starting job for the 3 years. 95%. I mean, maybe he loses it the third year and they move on or something, but he's gonna be your starting running back the next 2 years, and he's going to get 80% or more of the carries. Deb, appreciate the 5. Yeah, I'm not at all worried. I'm actually very, very excited. And it's such a good vibe. Like right now, the Rams, the vibes are immaculate right now for the Rams. Unless you are a doomer and you read too much into the Stafford thing, which I've told you over and over and over again not to worry about. It's not that big of a deal. It's a maintenance plan, nothing else. Schefter pointed it out. I said it yesterday, then Schefter reported it today. There's no reason to be upset or freaking out or anything. But, yes, he is. Kyren is a Ram at heart. Love that. I love that he's from St. Louis, Missouri. That, I don't know. There's something about that I like. The fact that he, grew up a Rams fan and got a picture with Steven Jackson as a little kid. I don't know. I think that's cool. But I just love, though, that again, it's the Rams practicing what they preach. You could say all the time, we not me. And then it's like that company that preaches how great their culture is. And then they let go of guys. They let go of, employees and, whatever, right? They let go of people that make the culture what it is. Right? It's the idea of people that really make you better as a company, as an organization. And then when push comes to shove to give them that raise, you shove them out the door. That is not what the Rams did. They actually paid Kyren Williams, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So we shall see, y'all. We shall see. Gonna be an interesting year, and I'm very excited about it. I think the Rams are in a great position, and I think right now there's just a lot to look forward to. You look at the offense all across the board. Matthew Stafford's going to start, no doubt about it. Not worried about it. You got Jimmy Garoppolo as your backup. That's a pretty damn good backup. I'm curious to see if they keep Stetson Bennett or if they think that they could slide him onto the practice squad. They kept him last year. Not sure what they'll do there. Running back, you got Kyren. I would imagine Blake Corum is going to win that number 2, and then Jarquez will have 3, and maybe they'll keep Ronnie Rivers, but I'm going to assume they don't keep Ronnie Rivers. Yeah, and I know I'm blanking on another, but this is just off the top of my head. Wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, and then of course, we're going to see what happens with, Konate Mumpfield. Is he going to be a part of this? Is he not? We'll find out. Tight end, I'm really high on Terrence Ferguson personally. I think he's going to be really good. I think a full year of Tyler Higbee healthy to start the season is going to be really good. Colby Parkinson has had some good moments, so has Davis Allen. So that's a really loaded tight end room. We did hear that there is a possibility that Alec Jackson will be ready to go at the start of the season, but let's just assume he isn't. Well, DJ Humphries would likely be the left tackle. And then at left guard, you have Steve Avila at center. You have Coleman Shellen at right guard. You have Kevin Dotson at right tackle. You have Rob Havenstein in the back end. You got guys like Bo Limmer, who have started plenty of games. Warren McClendon Jr., right? Quisenberry. You got a lot of different guys. So, Justin Diedick as well. So I like their depth there. Defensive line, or I guess, the defensive line. Kobe Turner. You got Braden Fisk. You got Poona Ford. You got Ty Hamilton. You got Ty Davis. They have a lot of guys there. A lot of guys I think can contribute. They've been really high on Tyler Davis, last year's pick out of Clemson. I really like what you have there. Then the edge, of course, you got Jared Verse. You got Byron Young. You go out and you get Josiah Stewart, right? But then there are other guys like Brennan Jackson's not really being talked about. He could have a really good preseason. I think he's, set to be one of the breakout guys. Also keep an eye on, I don't know why his name is totally escaping me right now. He went to Florida State. Could literally tell you he went to Florida State. He had, I think, 2 sacks in the postseason, and I'm blanking on his name right now. But yeah, I guess I'm totally blanking on his name. I don't want to look it up. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. And I'm blanking on his freaking name. I don't know why. Don't know why. Anyway, is it Josiah or Josiah? I keep hearing both. That's a good question, Brewhog. I'm not actually sure. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. I'm not gonna remember that guy's name. I don't know why. It's killing me. FSU, undrafted rookie free agent 2 or 3 years ago. I think he had a sack in the Eagles game. Keir Thomas, thank you. Good God. And again, I could have looked it up, but I didn't want to. Yeah. Then you have linebackers, and man, the things I'm hearing about Nate Landman, I liked the pickup. I have the video on the YouTube channel to prove it. You guys can check it out after if you want. I had no idea Nate Landman was going to push his way, not only in the conversation to be a starter, but past Omar Spates and be the green dot. They're psyched about Nate Landman, and from what I'm hearing, I get it. So, yeah, I mean, Nate Landman is having quite the camp, and I guess we'll see what ends up happening, but I always liked him on Atlanta because dude can really sell out and stop the run, but he got better in coverage over the course of his career. So we're going to see what ends up happening. This will be his biggest role to date. If he does start, Omar Spates would be number 2. Then after that, you have Sean Dolak. You got Chris Paul Jr. I absolutely love the linebacker room. I don't remember the last time I've been able to say that. Absolutely love the Rams linebacker room. I think it is going to be an absolute blast. They have a lot of talent there, a lot of potential. Then your corners, you have Akello Witherspoon starting. Looks like Kobe Durant across from him. I haven't seen or heard too much about Darius Williams. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anyone says. Akello Witherspoon is going to be in for a monster season. Okay. I've also heard amazing things at camp. I'm hearing things from people who didn't even like him at a camp saying he is a freak. He's insane. I got a text the other day, a camp report saying Your dude 4 is absolutely insane. He's absolutely shutting down Puka Nacua. And it's funny to me because that never really gets talked about, right? But I'll tell you right now, Kello, Kobe, Forbes really took a leap. Obviously, he's been a little banged up. I think preseason will be huge for him. Darius Williams, right? Kendrick, Josh Wallace. They got a lot of corners. This is why I was saying, is Ramsey a need? No. But I wanted him back because it's Jalen Ramsey. But man, I absolutely love what I'm hearing out of camp from the corners. I think Kello is going to be in for a huge year, and I cannot wait for the crow people are going to eat as long as he stays healthy, like anybody. But, barring all of that, as long health permitting, Kello Witherspoon number 4 is going to have quite the year. Then you have safeties. Right now, Cam Curl is, on the sideline, like, Forbes. And you got Quentin Lake, and, you got Cameron Kinchins, and Tanner Engel has been playing more. And, of course, Jalen McCullough, who switched his number to 2. He's going to be playing a lot more. I feel really good about the way the Rams look, the makeup of the Rams. Like I said, I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. So that's what I would say about that. But yeah, really in conclusion, man, really excited. Kyren Williams is going to stay a Ram for the next 3 years. We don't have the full thing, right? We don't have the full contract. If that did come out, I would obviously share it with you guys. I'd put it on the screen. It's pretty easy to do thanks to StreamYard, but we don't yet. So, in conclusion, the Rams don't really have anything they're waiting on. This was the last piece. This was the last piece of the puzzle. Kyren Williams' contract. Was this going to get done? Was it not going to get done? I was pretty confident it was going to happen, and today it did. So, really glad for Kyren. I just think it looks really good for the Rams. When you pay your own players like this, it also looks good on outside free agents. It makes people want to come here, and that's also a big thing. You can't, really discredit that. So those are my thoughts. Guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, the like button. Okay? Do me a favor there. I'm excited. We're back. So I hope you guys are ready. More content coming your way. I'm going to do a video on Stafford probably later today. But yeah, we are back. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to hit the like button. It really does help me out. Share it around if you want. But yeah, Kyren Williams is going to stay a Ram. I'm back. JE Live is back. And in the comment section, let me know, when the NFL starts, do you guys want me to do a live show every day? I'm just curious. Let me know in the comment section. Would that be something that you'd be interested in? So, that's that. But anyway, I'll see you guys. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll be seeing you soon. Later, folks.